this is what performance mode looks like on console. There is just 2 steps to setting this up, which is making your game look like performance mode, and the other is making your game run smoother. Well, not only does this make your game look different, but it also boosts FPS, lowers input delay, helps you hit more shots because you can see more frames, and overall boost your performance. Okay, let's make our game look like performance mode first. What you are going to need to do is scroll all the way across pretty much until you can find the battle labs, okay? So look for battle labs and then open that up and change it to a private game. Now that it is a private game, you can do that by pressing up on the D-pad. You then are going to want to press on Y or triangle to start up your battle lab game. Now, it doesn't really matter what you do here, so just launch it up because the setting can be found inside of battle labs, so that is why we have to load into it. What you guys are going to want to do is fly all the way down. Now, I recommend doing this on the right hand side of the map where the foundation skin is, because we need to go ahead and do a certain few amount of things to go ahead and get the performance mode. So once you go ahead and land down by this statue over here, this is where I'd recommend doing it. You are going to need to pretty much go to a location where there is textures such as bushes and stuff like that, because it's going to glitch out your games and actually give you the performance mode. So you're going to want to start out by mining a tree so that you can actually check if you've done it yet or not. And you are going to start out by placing a few floors and pyramids so that obviously you can tell when you've actually got the setting to work. Now we need these bushes here to go ahead and glitch out our game pretty much, because this setting isn't usually available to console, as you guys probably know. So, as you can see right now, if you go ahead and edit something, you won't have the bubble wrap build texture. It will be completely normal, and you guys won't have the performance mode. So, what you are going to need to basically do for this is you are going to open up a pause menu. However, it's more important that what you guys do is stand inside of a bush like this. And remember, it can be anywhere on the map. It just helps here because there is a lot of vegetation that you can stand inside of. So, you need to stand inside of one of these bushes, but basically it's going to have lots of textures that are going to glitch out your game. Now, once you're stood inside of a bush, you are going to go ahead and open up the pause menu. Once you've opened up the pause menu, you are going to go ahead and press on RB or R1 to go ahead and come down all the way down to where it actually says the settings. Now, once you go ahead and open up the settings, what you guys are going to need to do basically is we are going to be making our game look like the actual performance mode. So to do this, guys, what you need to basically do is go ahead and come over to basically where it actually has settings. You are basically going to turn your graphics settings to different things to make our game look like we have the builds. So what you guys are going to need to do for this is basically change the graphics tab, such as the brightness, user interface, colorblind, and color strength. This is going to give us the performance mode look, and then later on we're going to apply some settings to actually make our game perform much better and give us more FPS. But for now, let's just make our game look like performance mode. So to do this, what we are going to do basically is change your brightness. You are going to go from 100%, which is the default value, and you are going to change this down to exactly 85%, guys, just like this. Now, in the user interface contrast setting, guys, we're actually going to change this as well. Now, it is usually at 1% exactly, and now you're going to up this number to a very high number, guys. As you can see, it starts making your screen go very dark. However, we must do this to go ahead and get our performance mode. So, what you need to go ahead and do is change it to 1.3x, right? Now, remember, this isn't going to make us actually have performance mode. It will just make our game look like it. Later on, we're going to apply a setting to give us the boost of FPS. So, for now, you're going to then change the colorblind mode afterwards to one of the 4 options. Now, the option you're going to change it to is actually called Protonope. Now, once you've changed it to Protonope, guys, you are going to come down to the colorblind strength. Now, this is the last setting that we need to make our game look like performance mode, but it will not actually give us any performance boost such as the 0 ping or the lower latency or the faster and better FPS. So let's just make our game look like it first before we move on to the actual settings that change it. So lastly, you want to go ahead and change the colorblind strength to 10, and then once you've done that, you want to go ahead and apply. Then you just want to go ahead and back out onto the main game, okay? Now, remember, we were in this bush for a reason, guys, because this was glitching out our our game a bit. So then once you go ahead and walk outside of the bush, what you are going to need to do is walk over to your builds. Now, yes, these are the old builds, guys, and they still look the same, okay? These are not the performance builds. So what you need to do is go to the other side pretty much, and you're going to want to build out a few things. Now, as you can see here, they have the bubble wrap texture if I zoom in. So far, this has worked, and our game looks like performance mode. So far, this has worked, and our game looks like performance mode, but the FPS is still 60. So let's go ahead and apply some settings to actually give us the performance boosts. So what you are going to need to do to actually get the performance boost, guys, is you are going to want to actually press the pause menu and come down to where you can actually leave the match. Now, we are going to need to leave the match and do these settings in the home screen because you cannot apply the performance mode to your console inside of the game while you are playing. So once you are here, what you are going to need to do, guys, is you are basically going to need to apply the settings that give us the better FPS. So how do you do that? Well, basically what you're going to need to do is open the pause menu and come down to where it says settings. Now that you are in the settings screen, what you are going to need to do is apply a few settings. Now, most of the settings can be found inside of the game, but there is one last setting at the end that I need to tell you guys about. So anyways, once you are in your game settings, we are going to need to apply a few settings. You can find these by coming all the way over to the account and privacy, and now what you are going to need to do is turn off a few settings. So the ones you are going to need to turn off are show social notifications. Now, while you are actually playing the game, when a notification pops up, this is not something that performance mode would have. So we need to turn this off so that we are actually available to apply the performance mode setting at the end. So turn off show social notifications. Next up, what you are going to need to do is come down to where it actually says show career on leaderboard. And now basically this is going to transfer all of your games, like, data. And basically this is not something that performance mode would have, so we need to switch this to off as well. Then you're going to go ahead and basically apply both of those settings and back out to the home screen. Now there is basically one last setting that you guys need to apply inside of your consoles to give you the performance mode on Xbox and PS4, and I'm going to put up images on screen of what these settings look like in your actual console settings. So you just need to apply these and you will get performance mode. If you want something from the item shop, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to my channel, and comment your usernames down below so I can add random people and gift them skins from the item shop, guys. So remember, just like, subscribe, and comment your usernames and you have a chance to be gifted something. So I hope you guys enjoyed this performance mode video, and make sure you go ahead and watch the video up in the top right corner of the screen, and I'll see you all in the next video. See you guys.